welcome to the latest episode of The Sipping Point. I'm so excited today. We have so much great stuff to cover. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a question I got regarding serving temperatures, white wines, red wines, bubbly. What temperature do we serve them at, and does it taste differently depending on the temperature? Absolutely going to cover that. I'm going to introduce you to another favorite white wine of mine as well in a minute. And then in a little bit, I'm going to bring in Melissa Burr from Stoller Wine Company, and we're going to hear all about her journey to founding winemaker and all the great things they're doing at Stoller Vineyards and Chehalem, all part of the Stoller Wine Group. So get ready, and I'm so glad you're here for our latest episode. All right, so I got a question from you all about serving temperature and wine. So I thought I'd bring in one of my favorite everyday drinking white wines and introduce you to it. It's actually Bodegas Garzón. It is an Albariño, and it is from Uruguay. Now, you might know and love Albariño like I do from Spain, but this one, obviously, from Uruguay. And very excited to introduce you to it because it's around $20 in my local market. And it is 90 plus point rated wine if you care about that. Certainly it's Wine Coach approved. And I just love everything about it as far as it has that really great medium bodied stone fruit, citrus, some nice intensity, and then crisp acidity. It's my perfect style of white that I love to enjoy. And yes, I love white in the summer, the fall, the winter, and the spring. You don't have to switch solely over to red. So I'm going to just take a little taste of this. Yeah, that nose. Also some nice minerality on it as well, in addition to the other flavors I talked about. Take a little sip. Wow, that zest of acidity, love it. And that makes this food friendly. We'll have to do a whole episode on food and wine pairing, or many, because there's so many facets. But that crisp acidity helps it stand up to anything with salt and acid. So, Laurie, what temperature are you serving your white wine, bubbly wine, red wine? Does it matter? Yes, it absolutely matters what temperature you serve your wine at, because the temperature can affect the taste and the perception on your palate. So, for instance, sparkling wines, another favorite of mine, we want to serve in a cooler temperature around 40 to 46 degrees. Now, I don't know if you guys know, and think about it for a minute. Do you know what your kitchen refrigerator is temperature wise? Think about it. Guess what? It's probably around 39. So if you're storing short term, because we've already talked about storing your bubbly in the kitchen fridge, you got a pretty good temperature to work with. But white wines, typically like our Albariño, I want to serve around 45 to 50 degrees. Bigger whites like oaky Chardonnays, maybe even towards the 55 degrees. So that kitchen fridge is serving it up at too chilly of a temperature. And then your red wines, you want to serve somewhere between 60 and 68. Lighter reds in the 60 zone, heavier reds towards the 68, everything else maybe kind of in the middle. So what's a person to do? If you have a dual zone wine refrigerator, perfect, because you can have it set for 45 on the top for the whites and 65 on the bottom for the reds. If you don't, if you're like me, you have an aging wine refrigerator that's around 52 to 57, you can keep it there until you're ready to serve, pop it in the fridge, 15, 20 minutes, get it down to that proper serving temperature. But if you have your white wines in the regular refrigerator and they're too cold, a couple of ways you can get them to open up, because when they get into that ideal temperature zone, more flavors come out, more aromas. You can warm them with your hands. That's absolutely one way to go. Or just take it out of the refrigerator, the bottle, let it sit for 10, 15 minutes, and it will get up to that ideal serving temperature. If you serve white wines, sparkling wines too cold, all those flavors, like I said, will be locked in the glass, and you won't really get them, you won't experience them until it gets into that ideal temperature range. There are some light reds that can be slightly chilled, like maybe Pinot Noirs or Gamay, or even reds that have a little bit of sweetness. But the bolder you go in the reds and the more tannic, that's that dry astringency you get from reds like Cabernet Sauvignon, Tannat, Petit Verdot, Petit Syrah. Those you really want to stick towards that ideal serving temperature, 65 to 68. If you serve them cold, they're going to taste very bitter and they're going to be kind of assaulting. So temperature makes a huge, huge difference. And so what do you do if you get your white wine in the perfect serving temperature, but now it's sitting on the table during your dinner party or sitting outside on the patio? How do you keep it at the perfect temperature? Well, one of my little accessories that I love, it's called the vin glacé, and I'll post a link to both the wine and the vin glacé on my webpage at thewinecoach.com. And it's like a Yeti for your wine bottle. So you just go ahead and you grab the bottle. And let me give you a close-up, too, before I do that, of this amazing Albariño. I hope you guys will try it. I'll give you the link. Just put that in the vin glacé. The top goes on. You screw that on. And now this can sit on your kitchen table, your patio table, wherever you're enjoying your wine, red, white, or whatever. As long as it's at that ideal temperature, this will keep it insulated. So that's the basic deal with serving temperature. And I know you guys were so curious. It makes a huge difference in the taste. If you don't believe me, put a bottle of your favorite white wine in the kitchen refrigerator, get it super chilly, take it out, have a taste, and then taste it again every 10 minutes as it's warming up. And you're going to find the sweet spot.